Greetings, good people. So today we're going to be making a snake ring. This does not have any stones in it. It's another 100% copper piece. We're going to be using the ruler to measure out our wire today. We're going to use a hammer, a file, or a Dremel if you have one. You're going to need a ring mandrel, one of your round pliers, a flat nose plier, and wire cutters. So let's put all that to the side for now, as well as a bench block if you have it. If you don't have a bench block, you can just use something flat that you can hammer on. Sometimes I just hammer my ring mandrel. So I'm gonna do two different sizes. This is a 10 gauge. We're gonna cut it to 5 inches. And then we can use that piece of wire to measure out. Now this one's about, I think this is a 12 gauge wire. So you can see the difference. I'm doing two different sizes because it's definitely going to give you two different looks, but I can handle a little thicker wire. I've been doing it for a while, so my hands are pretty strong. But if you're starting out, I definitely would recommend you start with the smaller wire first. So remember, my hands sweat, so we're gonna go ahead and put on those gloves. So we're going to go ahead and just, now this ring is only gonna call for it to go around once, but you're going to have that extra wire and it's going to turn into the snake's head and the snake's tail. So go ahead and push your wire like that. Going to go ahead and do the same with the smaller wire. We're just going to do these pieces simultaneously. Okay, so when you get it to this stage, you can bring out your bench block. So my table usually rattles because this is a new production. Inside, you're going to hammer it flat facing the opposite direction. So that's going to become our snake head. Now for the next hammer, you're going to want to put it just like this. We're going to hammer this side. So it's going to be opposite side hammer. So this is going to be your outcome for this stage. So see that it's flat on this side, and if you flip it up, you have flat on that side. We're going to do the same thing. So now we have that done. Now we are going to go ahead and get out. You can use the file. For time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and use the Dremel. So this is the shaping portion. So we're just going to shape that down. And for the tail, we're going to take it almost to a point. This one might be a little quicker with the file. and go ahead and knock those burrs off. When you are filing, burrs are what you'll get on the opposite side, so you want to kind of smooth it out. So make sure our snake head is kind of shaping up the way we like it. Snake head starting to come to form, and then you can take the end of your, you can honestly probably take your pliers and give it a squeeze at the end of the head, just to put a little bit of definition. Okay, so we have our tail, we have our head. Let's do the same for the thicker. And you can find files at most hardware stores. You might even be able to find them in dollar stores around the neighborhood too. So we have our snake head and we have our snake tail. Now go ahead and get out those round pliers. You need to identify what is the head, what is the tail. Then you'll bring that tail back to you, and you'll kind of work it in different directions. And you can get your flat pliers to squeeze it together. And kind of flex that tail back to you. So we have the tail in its formation. Now we're going to work that head. So you can take the round pliers, and the head is only going to get one turn in. Okay, then you can use the flat pliers to kind of straighten it out a bit. Okay, then we have that. So now you can bring it back to the mandrel. We're actually gonna squeeze this manually first, kind of tighten it up, put it on the mandrel. We'll work with that in just a second. We're gonna do the same thing for our smaller gauge. And you can make this ring in any gauge you see fit, or whatever the outcome you like it to look like. So it's completely up to you. Okay, so we're gonna pinch these together. And grab our flat, pinch this down. So right now we have the tail. And then I'm gonna do that single bend up. I'm gonna do it with the wider version. And this one has a little bit more on it, so we're gonna give it a little, gonna bring this tight. Then we're gonna send the neck up. Okay. And use your flat plier to kind of get it to a perfected version. All right, so now I'm gonna bring out this hammer. exactly how we want it. Bend this back a little bit more. Okay. And you want to hammer to the shape of the ring mandrel because that is going to be a finger. So you want the ring to be able to kind of lay down on the finger a little bit better. And it really doesn't matter if your tools scar the metal a little bit. You can honestly take a little sander and kind of get any scratches out that you need to. So this is the look of it without it all cleaned up. But we will clean it up so it looks nice and presentable. But that is how you make a snake ring. Shout outs to Zeta for requesting the snake ring. And I hope you liked the video.